Okay, so we are going to look at the discriminant test, and in this video, we just focus on the introduction to what the discriminant test is all about. Okay, to give us a picture of what we're going to be looking at whenever we talk about the discriminant test. All right, so from the rotation of axis, we were able to see that by rotating let's say you are given an equation. Okay, let's say you're given an equation x squared, let me say plus xy plus y squared is equals to, let me say 1. Okay, so this has a bx term in it, bxy term in it, which is this one here, of which b is equals to 1 in this case. And what we are doing is that for us to really identify what equation we are dealing with, because when you know the equation, you'll be able to tell, to say what conic am I dealing with. Let's say at the end of the day, if let's say you get something like x squared is equals to, let me say 1 over 2y, you know, to say that's a parabola. Let's say you get something like x squared over let me say over 4 plus y squared over 6 is equals to 1. We know to say that's an ellipse. Then let's just say that in some cases you get x squared over 4 minus y squared over 6 is equals to 1. We know to say that that one is a hyperbola. Okay, so for what we are doing for us to arrive at any of these, depending on the nature of the equation that we are given, is that we are rotating the axis at some angle theta. Okay, some might call it alpha, theta. As long as you are talking about the angle, it's still very much correct. Okay, so we are rotating it for us to arrive at any of those equations, and after you identify the equation, that's when you can sketch, because when it's complex as it is right now, it's very difficult for us to tell, to say, okay, now what type of conic are you dealing with? And for you to know the type of conic you are dealing with, it's only when you are able to know the equation, because from the equations, that's where you get the conics from. All right, so now, it's according to the discriminant test, it's not every time that you need to rotate at some angle. Okay, it's not every time that we need to rotate, but the discriminant test is going to help us without rotating anything. It will help us to do what, to determine what type of equation that we are dealing with. And keep in mind, the discriminant test won't help you identify the conic. It won't help you to sketch or something. No, it won't help you to identify, to say, okay, now this equation that I'm dealing with is an ellipse, it's a hyperbola or a parabola or a circle or something, but it won't help you to sketch. So it's fine, because okay, I think the interesting part about it is that before you even start doing the, let's say you want to use the rotation of axis, before you even start rotating, you're able to tell that, okay, I'm dealing with an ellipse. Hence, that would be like more of like, it will be your guide. It will give you a picture of what you're going to look as a picture of what you are trying to find. Okay, so so for the discriminant, okay, for the discriminant, let's say we are with the discriminant, we know we have b squared minus, okay, minus 4ac. Okay, so this discriminant that we have here, so there are conditions under which we are going to have a parabola, an ellipse, or a hyperbola. Okay, so let's just say when this discriminant b squared minus 4ac is equals to 0. Okay, we are relating it to 0, and let's say we have another condition where it's b squared minus 4a, okay, 4ac, where it's greater than 0. And let's talk about another situation where b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. Okay, so when it is when the discriminant there is equals to 0, what you're going to have is a what, is a parabola. It's a parabola that you have. When the discriminant is greater than 0, okay, greater than 0, what you're going to have is a what, is a hyperbola. So when the discriminant is less than 0, what you're going to have is what is an ellipse. So how do we then identify? Okay, how do we then identify? Okay, as I said in this video, we're not talking about the introduction here. So we're talking about when b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, I mean, is equals to 0 is parabola. When it's greater than 0 is the hyperbola. When it's less than 0 is an ellipse. So let's say we have someone might ask to say, okay, what do you mean? Like, where do I get the b? Where do I get the a? Where do I get the c from? It's very simple. If you have the same example that I gave, x squared plus xy plus y squared is equals to some number 0, some number 1 here. Sometimes it can be 0 depending on the type of equation that you are given. So the coefficients are the ones which are a, b, and c. Here you have the coefficient 1, you have the coefficient 1, you have the coefficient 1 here as well. Okay, so here meaning your a is what is 1, your b is also what 1, your c is also what is also 1. So it's just a matter of now replacing where there is b you put where there's b squared you put 1, where there's a you put 1, where there's c you put 1. Then you look at what you have, then that will be able to tell you to say, okay, now I'm dealing with such and such a conic. Okay, so that's all from this video. Thank you very much for watching.